Hello, Can Files viewers. This is Aidan Jonah, Editor-in-Chief of the Can Files, here bringing you some relevant news. We have a case now with out in British Columbia. You have the New Democratic Party Member of Parliament, Davies. Now, he's honoring the anti-communist South Vietnam puppet state and anti-communist collaborators who fled Vietnam to Canada when Vietnam was fully liberated from the U.S. military occupation of South Vietnam in conjunction with the puppet state of South Vietnam. So Davies, of course, was taking this day, calling it Journey to Freedom Day, which of course pushed Vietnamese people coming to Canada. And let's take a look now at the monument itself. They're supposedly refugees from communism. You have this Little Saigon Vancouver Foundation that was behind it, and also with support of City of Vancouver. And this was unveiled in 2017. Now, this puppet regime of South Vietnam was brutal. They killed civilians, they killed prisoners of war, including, in both cases, by taking the people up into planes, helicopters more so, and shoving them off while it's high up in the air, leading these people to their death. And this regime really committed horrible crimes against people and soldiers. It is not a good regime, a good government. No, it was a Western puppet state. And really the West has been working to prevent Vietnam from being, a truly independent sovereign nation ever since an independent Vietnam was first declared in 1945. First of all, you had the French for a decade or so going in and trying to recolonize Vietnam. When that failed, you then had the West backing a South Vietnamese puppet state, which was originally led by a Western-backed puppet. Then there was a military coup in that region, and you had a military dictatorship. Either way, it was effectively a dictatorship all the way from the founding of South Vietnam. And of course, this regime, the military regime, lasted until the defeat of the anti-communist regime. Now, Canada actually played a role in terms of helping the South Vietnam puppet state and generally the West's aim to prevent an independent, communist-led Vietnam. There's a few ways, and emphasis on a few. It's not the whole way. You had Canadian International Control Commission, that is ICC, officers in Vietnam who would collect intelligence and actually pass it on to CIA and MI6 agents who were in the field. Canadian aid and medical assistance in Vietnam was used as cover for this on occasion. As you'll see here, including a journal from the University of Toronto, you'll see that they passed on intelligence on numerous occasions. They tried to deny it. This was mainly in the 50s and 60s that this intelligence gathering took place on behalf of the United States and other Western powers. You also have, of course, an article written by the Can Files, which we published Evangler, who's writing about Agent Orange. So the Canadian government actually allowed for the testing of Agent Orange in a New Brunswick military base, CFB Gagetown. Now, Agent Orange, of course, is a brutal chemical which caused death and disability up until even the present day. And its main use was during the 1960s and 70s by U.S. forces against really any folks in Vietnam, including citizens and soldiers. You also had Canada providing around $29 million in aid to the anti-communist South Vietnamese government. And you also had a minimum 30,000 Canadian troops volunteering for military duty with the US, attempting to crush the really Vietnamese people's desire for an independent communist state. So, in conclusion, really, with this NDP MP, Don Davies, endorsing this anti-communist Journey to Freedom Day and complaining about the fall of Saigon versus liberation. It's truly disgraceful. It's an insult to the Vietnamese majority who supported or were communists and wanted, like I said, the independent communist Vietnam. This incident really truly speaks volumes about the state of the New Democratic Party in 2023, openly supporting imperialism on so many fronts, including China, among many other fronts. So, if you folks enjoyed this video, I want to ask you to consider donating to Canada Files to support our journalism. There will be a donor box link in the bio below, and you can set up a monthly or annual donation there. Anyways, thanks so much for watching this video. Hope everyone is having a good day, and that is it. Goodbye.